So we're in set two. Let's see who will be joining us for the next hour. All right. So first up is going to be Rabbi Bronwen Mullin, who's going to give a talk called Job and Messiaen, Creation and Captivity. Every time I look at this, I want to say Job, but it's Job, biblical Job, I'm assuming, unless it's some meta play on words. Anyway, Rabbi Bronwen is going to tell us more about that soon. Then coming up after is Lorin Sklamberg. Amazing Lorin Sklamberg. After that, Polina Shepherd. This is really they're all-star hours, but I don't even know what to say in introduction for. Okay, all artists are equal. Anyway, and finishing up this hour, we'll be shifting away from music for a musical haircut with Mitia Khramstov and Germina Gordienko. Yeah. Okay.
Very good.
So, all sorts of exciting things this hour: rabbinical teaching, music, and haircut. Why haircuts? Well, you'll have to stay tuned for 2:40 p.m. when we'll find out more. Okay. So, let us turn to Bronwen, who I haven't seen in so long. This is so exciting. Hi, Bronwen. How are you?
Muted.
Doing good. So good to see you. Hey.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have unmuted myself. There we are. Getting multiple requests at once. So I guess we start by saying Lag BaOmer Sameach, everyone, right? You don't always hear people say that, but I'm glad we can say that. So being that the immense Myerson, Cantor Myerson invited me to be a part of this, I wanted to offer a teaching specifically around music and actually around very much inspired by a piece of music that Sarah and I actually studied together at the Jewish Theological Seminary with Cantor Gerald Cohen. And the piece of music that sort of inspired this tiny little teaching I just wanted to offer in honor of this holiday, the piece was called The Quartet for the End of Time. And it was a piece of music composed by the French composer Olivier Messiaen while he was a prisoner of war, while he was captured from France in Germany in 1940. And the piece itself was utilizing a technique that Olivier Messiaen really, amongst others, put on the map, and it was called modes of limited transposition. And the whole theory behind this kind of music was actually developing a scale that would be noted for its extreme symmetry of interval groups, and you could start it on any note in the scale, in the existing chromatic scale. But the point of it is that it actually has built into it at a certain point an overlap of pitch classes, meaning that there's actually only so far that the scale can go. There's only so many combinations that can be done. It has an inherent limitation built in. In some ways, you might even say that sort of harmonically, you're sort of held captive. There's only so much you can do. And part of the reason I find this technique so interesting is that when you hear this piece of music, it's a shame that we won't be playing it here, but I highly adjure you to Google it, the Quartet for the End of Time, Olivier Messiaen. Part of what makes it so interesting as a technique is that when you hear this music, it actually feels boundless. It feels beyond time, beyond space, beyond any kind of limitation, even in the knowledge that it has these sort of built-in constrictions within its very system. And what made this piece of music particularly poignant when it was first premiered was that it was actually done in a war camp in Germany. It was done for 4 instrumentalists who were available, who were in the same barrack as Olivier Messiaen. And in fact, when Olivier Messiaen felt the need to even compose it, apparently the way that he did it at first was actually that he had to essentially appeal to a very sympathetic Nazi guard who gave him like a scrap of a pencil, some leftover paper from a number of Nazi documents, and he had to work under these extreme limitations. And Olivier Messiaen actually said about the experience many years on, when he talks about playing it for the camp for nearly 400 prisoners, he actually said, never was I listened to with such rapt attention and comprehension. And I was so struck by that. And something that I really take from that, and why I wanted to talk about that in relation to Job and very much in relation to what I think we as a human family are going through right now, is that this was a moment where the medium of art matched the inner experience of what people were going through. That the actual modalities of creating the piece, its very performance, were really in line and aligned with and in touch with what people were experiencing in such a deep way, the deepest and most horrific sense of captivity. So that built-in system of sort of limitation, of constriction, is actually something that we also see in the book of Job, and we particularly see it, and Bible scholars note it in chapter 28 of the book of Job. Chapter 28 has an unusual repetition of a verse, and the line goes, Ve'chochma me'ayin tavo, ve'eze makom bina. But from where does wisdom come? Where is the source of understanding? And this verse comes up twice in the chapter, and it comes up in two different sections. And while it's common in some pieces of biblical literature to have repetition of verses that are sort of almost dividing stanzas, that's much more common in books of writings. It's much more common in poetic literature, such as the book of Psalms or the book of Proverbs. It's less common in, so to speak, wisdom literature, which is where the book of Job is found. So I just want to read this chapter to you very quickly, and I'll just say one or two more words about it. In the context of this is after Job has gone through his unfathomable suffering, really a test of God, right? That God and Satan are having a debate, right? God is saying, look at my beloved servant. He's so loyal and so wonderful. And Satan says, well, yeah, of course he's loyal. You haven't done anything. The guy lives in peace. If you were to let me to touch, if you were to let me to touch him in any way, affect him in any way, surely he would curse you. And God takes the bait and allows Satan, this angel, this destructive angel, to curse Job and to kill his children, to cause him physical suffering, just horrible, horrible things. And everyone tries to convince him, all of his friends, that, oh, Job, you must have done something to deserve it. But Job can't wrestle with that. He can't accept that. And in the final chapters, which is a very long book of the book of Job, Job sort of submits in this great cry and lamentation about God's power. And here's what he recites. God dams up the sources of the streams so that hidden things may be brought to light. But where can wisdom be found? Oh, sorry, apologies. Yes, sorry, almost started in the wrong place. Oops, 1 second. My prints came out a little funny. Oh no, I should have looked at this more quick. Apologies, everyone. So my print is a little funny here. Here we go. There we go. Sorry. Okay. So it begins. There is a mine for silver and a place where gold is refined. Iron is taken out of the earth and copper smelted from rock. He sets bounds for darkness. To every limit man probes, to rocks in deepest darkness. They open up a shaft far from where men live, in places forgotten by wayfarers, destitute of men, far removed. Earth, out of which food grows, is changed below as if into fire. Its rocks are a source of sapphires. It contains gold dust too. And no bird of prey knows the path to it. The falcon's eye has not grazed upon it. The proud beasts have not reached it. The lion has not crossed it. Man sets his hand against the flinty rock and overturns mountains by the roots. He carves out channels through rocks. His eyes behold every precious thing. He dams up the sources of the stream so that hidden things may be brought to light. But where can wisdom be found? Where is the source of understanding? No man can set a value on it. It cannot be found in the land of the living. The deep says, it is not in me. The sea says, I do not have it. It cannot be bartered for gold. Silver cannot be paid out as its price. The finest gold of Ophir cannot be weighed against it, nor precious onyx, nor sapphire. Gold or glass cannot match its value, nor vessels of fine gold to be exchanged for it. Coral and crystal cannot be mentioned with it. A pouch of wisdom is better than rubies. Topaz from Nubia cannot match its value. Pure gold cannot be weighed against it. But whence does wisdom come? Where is the source of understanding? It is hidden from the eyes of all living, concealed from the fowl of heaven. Abaddon and death say, we have only a report of it. God understands the way to it. He knows its source. For God sees to the ends of the earth, observes all that is beneath the heavens. When God fixed the weight of the winds, set the measures of the waters, when God made a rule for the rain and a course for the thunderstorms, then God saw it and gauged it. God measured it and probed it. And God said to man, see, fear of the Lord is wisdom. To shun evil is understanding. So in this chapter, we have this repetition of this line, where can wisdom be found? And in this unusual pattern, this repeated line, I want to offer that we learn something from Messiaen that we also learn in the book of Job, is that in the place of constriction, of that incredible limitation, that there's also this possibility for comprehension that was never possible before. That doesn't mean peace, and it doesn't mean contentment, because you'll see that Messiaen doesn't describe this as a pleasant experience, as a contentful experience, but that there's a way into a wisdom and a depth that perhaps can actually only be seen through that access to a wisdom that comes from, dare we say, even captivity. And so I want to offer us that on Lag BaOmer, which celebrates actually the end of a plague in Jewish tradition, right? A feeling of a plague that went on and on without seeming end. And there was this day of relief. I want to offer us that we are all deeply creative people. And in this place of constriction, that we should all find access to our inherent ability to find limitlessness, to seek out new wisdom, and to seek out new and deeper comprehension. It's a pleasure to be with you. And again, Lag BaOmer Sameach.
Yay, Shkoyach, Rabbi Bronwen Mullin. I think we should all sing the whole quartet now. Dum 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 da 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 dum 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 da 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 da. It's great nigun, right? Okay, maybe instead of doing that, we'll turn to Lorin Sklamberg.
Hello.
Who perform something much more melodious than that.
Yeah, okay. Hi, everyone. So Sarah asked me about this particular song, which I'm not going to sing for 10 minutes, but this is a Breslov nigunim, which I learned from a recording which mysteriously has disappeared from availability. I don't know what happened to it, but it's a wonderful recording that he made with Rabbi Yaakov Klein of Breslov nigunim and songs. And this one is a version of Veharikoysi Lokhem which appropriately enough for Lag BaOmer throws in thanking Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai for the Mishnah. So I will pour forth blessings without measure. Our lips will never get tired of saying genug. Veharikoysi Lokhem brocha belidai, Yitzchos Satan Eloi kirem Shimon Bar Yochai, Ad she'iglu sid soiseichen, Eloi mar dai dai dai, Ad she'iglu sid soiseichen, Eloi mar dai dai dai, Veharikoysi Lokhem brocha belidai, Yitzchos Satan Eloi kirem Shimon Bar Yochai. soy seken Eloi marai dai dai Hachi soy seken Eloi marai dai dai Koyekh Lokhem brocha delida Ebis Satan Eloi kirem shiven vayocha Hachi soy seken Eloi marai dai dai Hachi soy seken Eloi marai dai dai Eloi marai dai dai Eloi marai dai dai Peanut gallery over there. Yeah, thanks. Next one, drawing from the Lubavitch repertoire from Chabad. This one is a Tzoma Lecha Nafshi, bilingual, or as Ruth Rubin would say, a macaronic song. Supposedly, at least one of the dynasties of Hasidim sings this on Lag BaOmer. So here we go. Let's see. Hey, tzoma, 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 tzoma lecha nafshi. Kama, 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 kama lecha b'sori. Hey, tzoma, 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 tzoma lecha nafshi. Kama, 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 kama lecha b'sori. Tzidulin Marcos Totiyevishna Yare Marco Nekaplayish Nepradayish Tolkarovish Marco Tzidulin Marcos Totiyevishna Yare Marco Nekaplayish Nepradayish Tolkarovish Marco. Do I have time for one more?
Of course you do.
Oh, okay. All right.
If you want.
All right. Well, you said that I'd ask Sarah for a list of different topics because I'm not very familiar with songs for Lag BaOmer, but she said something about counting. So here's a song that is similar to songs for Pesach, and this one is this who knows one. One is the deity upstairs. Two is the tablets of sapphire stone that God himself wrote. Three is the forefathers, four is for the foremothers, and five is for the books of the Torah. It Saints, 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 face for stussies. Ik weet, voor saints is. Hey, naris, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Voor Eiftered und Himmel, eine bist du. Hey, naris, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Voor Eiftered und Himmel, eine bist du. Twee, wees voor stussies. Ik weet, voor twee is. Twee Luchers von Sachbestein, geschrieben hat das der Eberster allein. Hey, naris, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, vor Eiftered und Himmel, eine bist du. Drei, wees was das ist. Ich weiß, was drei ist. Drei Augen seien bei uns da. Avram, Yitzchak und Yaakov, Bronwen, Livracha. Luchos von Sachbestein, geschrieben hat das der Eberster allein. Hey, naris, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, vor Eiftered und Himmel, eine bist du. Viel, weiß, was das ist. Ich weiß, was viel ist. Wir immer seinen bei uns da. Sorry, ich kehre Welle, ja. 3 Jahre seinen bei uns da. Avram, Yitzchak, Yaakov, Bronwen, Livracha. 2 Luchos von Sachbestein, geschrieben hat das der Eberster allein. Hey, naris, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, vor Eiftered und Himmel, eine bist du. Weiß, was das ist. Ich weiß, was Wind ist. Wir sind da bei uns Komoshi. Wer ich schmeiß für Yikra, mit Badvari. Wir immer seien bei uns da. Sorry, ich erachtel Welle, ja. 3 Jahre seien bei uns da. Avram, Yitzchak, Yaakov, Bronwen, Livracha. 2 Luchos von Sachbestein, geschrieben hat das der Eberster allein. Einer ist HaKadosh Baruch Hu, vor Eiftered und Himmel, einer bist du. Thank you. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Lorin.
I'm looking forward to the rest of the celebration.
Yeah. And a reminder that if you're watching this and you want to know how you can show your appreciation to all of the amazing artists that we have, you can send contributions to cantorsarahmyerson@gmail.com through PayPal or at Sarah Myerson for Venmo, and I will make sure that it goes to the artists. So, and coming up next, we have Polina Shepherd in Brighton.
Hello, hello.
Looking fabulously orange. Oh, you chose the
background.
bonfire colors.
I had to do something relevant.
Amazing.
So shall I just do it?
Do it.
So this will be a selection of songs in Yiddish and a bit of Russian and in English. All sorts of things. I won't translate everything. If people know Yiddish, they'll know it. Some of it is heartfelt and emotional and dark. Some of it is fun. Let's see how we get on. I will perform 2 songs for the first time in my life. So let's see how that goes. 2 world premieres today. Here we go. How is the sound, okay? Zingt zu ihm an ein Lied. 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 Spielt gut mit Freudgeschreien. Spielt gut mit Freudgeschreien. Spielt gut mit Freudgeschreien. Mit Freudgeschreien. Spielt gut mit Freudgeschreien. Spielt gut mit Freudgeschreien. Spielt gut mit Freudgeschreien. Mit Singt zu ihm an ein Lied. 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 Spiel gut mit Freudgeschreien. Spiel gut mit Freudgeschreien. Spiel gut mit Freudgeschreien. Mit Freudgeschreien. Spiel gut mit Freudgeschreien. Spielt gut mit Freudgeschreien. Spielt gut mit Freudgeschreien. Mit Freudgeschreien. Mit Trot bei Trot, Trot bei Trot, jeder Trot an der Schafat, Tiger und grüne Stern, und die Stillkeit weint und rennt, und die Stillkeit weint und rennt. auf mir der Teu gesunken, ist auf mir der Teu gesunken. Also ich geh untertänig in einem Purpur von a König mit mein 1000-jähriger Last in dem schwarzen Nachtpalast. Wie die große Kronen schreien, bald wird ich die Nacht befreien und mit kaltem Waldgeräusch mich verschwiegen in ihr Rauschhaus, mich verschwiegen in ihr Scheuß. Ой, ты лети, как стрела. Ой, ты лети, как стрела, вдоль да по бережку. Ой, вдоль да по бережку. Ой, ты найди, как стрела, ой, да ты найди, как стрела, доброго молодца. Ой, доброго молодца, ой, да ты убей-ка стрела, ой, да ты убей-ка стрела, доброго молодца, ой, доброго молодца, ой, когда мать-то плача, ой, да когда мать-то плача, ой, как река теча, ой, как река теча, ой, как сестра-то плача, ой, да как сестра-то плача, ой, как ручей теча, ой, да как ручей теча, ой, как жена, да то плача, ой, да как жена-то плача, ой, как роса пала, ой, как роса пала. The rain is not the rain, the snow is not the snow, the wind is not the wind, there is a fire down below. The sun is not the sun, the moon is not the moon, but there's one thing for sure you got to know, there's a fire down below. The rain is not the rain, the snow is not the snow, the wind is not the wind, there's a fire down below. Now the bells they ring one final time, you'll see them if you look, and the trees they weep, the birds they cry, it's all written in the book. The stars grow dim till you can't see, the birds no longer fly as if you're free. The river it forgot which way to fly. It's because there is a fire down below. The rain is not the rain, the snow is not the snow, the wind is not the wind, there's a fire down below. Verstellt sich unter Winden, wer es Wind, 100.000er Gemiter tappen blind, tappen Welt von allen Seiten, Schritt und Tritt, suchen der Welt so. Dint Got mit Simkhe, Dint Got mit Simkhe. Kommt vor ihm mit Gesangen, mit Gesangen. Kommt vor ihm mit Gesangen, mit Gesangen. Dint Got mit Simkhe, Dint Got mit Simkhe. Kommt vor ihm mit Gesangen, mit Gesangen. Kommt vor ihm mit Gesangen, mit Gesangen. Dint Got mit Simkhe, Dint Got mit Simkhe. Kommt vor ihm mit Gesangen, mit Gesangen. Kommt vor ihm mit Gesangen, mit Gesangen. Dint Got mit Simkhe, Dint Got mit Simkhe, mit Simkhe, mit Simkhe, mit Simkhe, mit Simkhe. Kommt vor ihm mit Gesangen, mit Gesangen. Kommt vor ihm mit Gesangen, mit Gesangen. mitgesungen, oi, kommt er mitgesungen, oi, oi, mitgesungen, Thank you. Thank you very much. Have a good festival.
Thank you, Polina. Wow. Amazing. Amazing to hear you perform. I look forward to the time when we can see each other again in person.
Likewise. Likewise.
Yes. And if you are wondering what exactly you are hearing and what were the names of all those amazing pieces that Polina wrote, she composed all of them, then you can go.
Not all of them.
All but one. There was a Russian folk song.
Ah, yes, true. Strela. Okay, she's not the entire Russian folk. So, yes. So,
I can put it somewhere in the event.
yes. Well, actually,
on the event page, yeah.
in the event, the whole program is in the event. If you can't really see it here, but the program is in the event with all of the details of all the composers and everyone. Thank you again, Polina. And we turn eastwards to Russia for something completely different now. Mitia Khramtsov. Okay.
Hey, hi everyone. Good Yontef. Good Yontef. I'm look bit strange because can you see me? Can you hear me? Yeah, I'm look bit strange because now my wife Germina going to cut my hair and we have lots of rabbonim to explain why. I decided to do it today. Enjoy. Став я піту п'ятницю, пропив свою телицю. Треба знати, як гуляти, треба знати, як брехати. Ох, аж вон цедик, а давати пред паном хазяїном отречати. А ми п'єм, да ми гуляєм. Умер Тринкін, я й на зойві маєм. Умер зогнали zusammen лехаєм. Веато тишма, мін нашим маєм. Став я піту суботу, пропив свою роботу. Треба знати, як гуляти, треба знати, як брехати. Ох, аж вон сидить, а давати. Пред паном хазяїном отвечати. А ми п'єм, да ми гуляєм. Умер Тринкін, я й на зойві маєм. Умер зогнали zusammen лехаєм. Веато тишма, мін хашмаєм. Став я піту осіннє, пропив я, пропив своє ім'я. Треба знати, як гуляти. Треба знати, як брехати. Ох, аж бон це де отвечати пред паном на хазяїном отвечати. А ми п'єм, да ми гуляєм. Und wir trinken ja na Säuwe Maim. Und wir sagen alle zusammen Lechaim. Wer tot ist Amen Hashemayim. Thank you for watching. Good Yontef. I think we should finish it privately. You watched enough. Thank you very much. Thank you, Sarah, to invite us. Bye bye.
Yeah.
Koyekh Mitia.
Okay, so maybe this is a good opportunity to talk about why there's a haircut. And shkoyach to Germina for the excellent haircut. Germina is also an amazing cymbal player and percussionist. So let's see. Okay, wow. If that wasn't amazing entertainment, I don't know what is. So
Hey, let's do. I have a love here.
Yeah, we've done. Continue, explain.
okay, yes. So the time between Pesach and Shavuos is considered a time of semi-mourning. So we avoid, so all the things that we would avoid when we're mourning, when we're grieving someone that we've lost, are things that we traditionally avoid between Pesach and Shavuos. So that includes things like weddings. It's not traditional to have weddings during the period of the Omer, the 7 weeks from Pesach and Shavuos. It's not traditional to wear new clothing. It's not traditional to cut your hair. It's not traditional to play musical instruments. However, on Lag BaOmer, many of those restrictions are suspended for the day, and so it is often a day when you will see many weddings happening. This year is a little bit different because it's harder to do big family celebrations, and you probably shouldn't do that.
No.
Yeah, private weddings. Just you and your special someone can get married, but we don't do big weddings this year. However, you can have a haircut, as we saw demonstrated amazingly just there. You can wear new clothing if you want. You can play musical instruments. We have many people playing musical instruments today. So it's really a time to, it's sort of a release valve to let go of all of those restrictions between these two periods. So why is this a special day and a joyful day in the midst of this 7 weeks of 7 mourning? Well, there are two aspects to this. One is that during Roman times, Rabbi Akiva's students were dying of plague. He had 24,000 students by some counts. Many of them were dying of plague. I'm sure we can all relate to that idea right now. And miraculously, on Lag BaOmer, on the 33rd day of the Omer, people stopped dying. It would be amazing if people would stop dying today. That would be great. That would definitely be something worth celebrating. The other aspect is that one of Rabbi Akiva's students was Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, and he died on Lag BaOmer. Not that Lag BaOmer, a different one later on. So you would think that followers of Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, to whom we attribute the kernel of starting the Zohar, of starting Jewish mysticism, the Rashbi, you would think that on his yahrzeit people would be sad and would mourn him. But he was adamant that he wanted his followers, his disciples, to celebrate his life on the day of his passing, on his yahrzeit, and rather than mourn his passing, to celebrate by singing and dancing. So that's the reason that so many people make pilgrimage to Meron in Israel and sing and dance there and make these epic bonfires and do all sorts of other celebratory things. So we have two things. One, celebrating the halt of the deaths from plague, and on the other hand, celebrating the yahrzeit of the Rashbi, of Shimon Bar Yochai. And I think also it's important to realize that sometimes the rabbis, in all of their wisdom, have beautiful ideas of when it's a time to celebrate and when it's a time to mourn. And I think there might be some understanding that this period of spring and early summer is a time when people want to be joyful and they want to go outside and to celebrate and to have weddings, and to ask people to suspend all joy for 7 weeks during this time of the year probably isn't practical. So maybe as a concession to the desires of the community, this can be a kind of a compromise where you have days of semi-mourning and then you have days of absolute joy. I'm just going to check in with our participants. Might not be a rabbi, but sometimes I can teach coherently on Judaic matters. Okay. So I think we have a few minutes until 2 o'clock, so I might sing something else. Why not? Okay. All right.
Haircut?
Do I have a song about a haircut? I kind of do, actually. I don't really know it though, but there's this Hasidic Yiddish song. Ilya is requesting a song about a haircut. Okay, so here we go.
Instead of a haircut.
Yeah, I'm not going to cut my hair. It doesn't look great right now, but it looks better than it would if I cut it. Okay, so there's a Hasidic Yiddish song because one of the things that people do in Meron, I said people go to Meron to sing and dance and make bonfires. I believe the women recite Tehillim. That's as much as I can find out. But often men will bring their 3-year-old boys whose hair has not yet been cut. There is a tradition among some Jewish people to refrain from cutting the hair of a child for the first 3 years of the child's life, and then when the child turns 3, to have a big celebratory haircut called an Upscheren. Tried to arrange one of those today, but we didn't happen to have any 3-year-olds among my friends who were ready to cut their hair. So here we go. Where is this Hasidic Yiddish song? Okay, so it doesn't mention Lag BaOmer specifically, but the lyrics are basically, it's my birthday, all of my good friends are going to come, they're going to give me a blessing and wish me success on my birthday. Mom baked a cake. Dad said a good word or teaching. A word from Torah. Praised our Creator. And the last line doesn't even rhyme. Okay. Okay. I'm 3 years old today. My grandmother said I'll soon be a groom. Hope not. Die Haar abgeschoren, so my hair cut, my curls are lost, and only 2 payas are staying, 2 curls. If you want to see what payas look like, look up Leah Kalish's H's Chayil. It's a great video, and you will see what payas look like.
And do you say Leah Kalish?
Yes, and Leah Kalish is going to be performing later, so she can tell you all about that. And what did I wear? A little tallis, a tallis cotton, with 4 fringes or tzitzis, so that I can remember that I'm Jewish. I'm 3 years old. You get the idea. Okay, let's see if I can sing this. You want to play along? C major. Okay. High tech here. Ilya Schneeves, amazing musician.
Not cutting
I'm
my
Cantor
hair.
Sarah Myerson, by the way. Okay. Da 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 da. Ya da 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 da. Ya da 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 da. Ya da 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 dum. With words. Zu mein Geburtstag heint, seien gekommen alle gute Freund, geben a Brache und wünschen a Zwache zu mein Geburtstag heint. Die Mama wird backen a Tort, der Tate hat euch gegeben a Wort von der Teure, geläut unser Beure, was mit Masel sich heint. Heint bin ich 3 Jahre alt, die Baba sagt verlassen Bacher bald, die Haar abgeschoren, die Locken verschworen, nur 2 schöne Payes bleiben. Und was hab ich angetan? Ein neues Malbisch, a Talles Koton, 4 schöne Zitzes, der Mann ins jedes, und ich trag sie von heint an. Weil heint bin ich 3 Jahre alt. Und ich will bedanken alle gute Freund, that's you, was seinen gekommen, an teilgenommen in mein größer Simkhe heint. Geben a Brache und wünschen a Zlache zu mein größer Simkhe heint. All right, this is, if you're just tuning in, this is our BaOmer celebration. It's epic. It's 6 hours long. We're 2 hours of the way in. That's 1/3. I'm going to give a bit of an intro to what's going to happen in this set. If you're wondering, the whole program is in the Facebook event already, both plain text and as a Google Doc, so you can find out all about all of our amazing performers and what they're doing. Please, if you enjoyed any of this, you can contribute via PayPal or Venmo. The link is going in the live stream right now. And if for whatever reason you'd rather read it like this, that's what it looks like. Okay, and I will make sure that those contributions go straight to our amazing